100,000 people, all, and they all sing "You Never Walk Alone," then you get goosebumps, huh? It's crazy. The boss outside is red, but the boss inside was red from the smoke. The boss didn't drive, didn't know where to go. The city was red, and all was with Klopp and the staff and the players, and that is what he created, really. I said when I left, we have the best goalkeeping squad at Liverpool probably ever had, with the best number 1 and 2. We have nothing to lose. We need to win. And I see Ali there, and I said, Ali, get F in the box. So that...
This was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This is happening.
Welcome back to another episode of The Coach's Son Parks the Bus. We are joined by a very special guest, known for his time at Tranmere Rovers, Liverpool, and now our Ettifaq, one of the top goalkeeping coaches of our time, John Achterberg. John, welcome to the podcast.
All right, how are you all?
Good, thanks, John.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
Good, no problem.
John, so like we usually start with, asking the person who we're talking to a little bit about their footballing journey. So where did it all start for you?
I'm obviously original from Holland, so everything started in Holland, where I started playing, obviously. In my local team, I was 14 when I started playing in the first team, and with 16 I moved to professional to Utrecht, my hometown, where I was 6 years, and then with 22 I went to NEC Breda and was there 3 years, make my debut in the Premier League in Holland, and in Utrecht I was like 3 years number 2 goalie. And at NEC I started as number 2 as well, and then I think I played about 15 games. Then the Bosman rule came and I wanted to be number 1, so then I moved to Eindhoven for 2 years. Didn't like it there because not professional, the players were not training on a high level I was used to, so wanted to move. And then I ended up being in England in Tranmere Rovers, who were then in the championship basically. And in that time, obviously, I played there 11 years, and I was doing already coaching in Holland when I was at Eindhoven. I started my goalkeeping training with the academy and the reserve team. Up into the reserves, I did all the goalies, and I did my outfield first 2 badges. And then when I went in Tranmere, I started a few goalkeeping days and stuff like that. And then I think with 33, I started to do everything, the whole academy. And basically I was playing coach for the last few years when I was playing there, and did the recruitment for the keepers there and stuff like that. So did all the licenses. And when I finished playing at 38, I basically had, apart from the pro license, I had every license what exists: academy license, highest goalkeeping license, outfield A license, and I had fitness instructor because I thought I need to know a bit about that, and then I got basically 38. I got the offer to go to Liverpool to start the academy and the reserve team goalkeepers and oversee everything and communicate with the first team goalie coach. And after 1 year he left, and then obviously I moved to the first team, and since then I've been with the first team basically for 14 years. I was with the first team and did my pro license there, and obviously finished last season at Liverpool and went to Ettifaq, where I tried to set up the goalkeeping school, if you like, and try to help the academy a little bit with the coaches and what we need to try to work on and stuff like that. And it's fun to do, apart from we need to start winning games, so that's a little bit what is missing at the moment.
So moving forward a little bit, we'll sort of jump to the beginning of your career at the academy in Liverpool. Do you remember there was a specific time when you were at the academy and they actually asked you to transition over to the first team? Do you specifically remember that and what the transition was like?
Yeah, no, I mean the transition was basically, I was there the first year with the academy and the reserves, and I was working in the same building as the first team at Melwood with the reserves. We trained there as well, and Benitez was the manager. He gave me the contract, and they left after 1 year, and I was on holiday, and somebody rang me and said, "John, you have to come here because there's no goalie coach, and you have to help us with the goalies." So I said, "Yeah, when you want me to come, I'm on holiday, but I'll fly. I'm in the US at the moment, but if you want me tomorrow, I'll fly back tonight, and I'll be there." So that's how it went. He said, "No, just come back Monday, and then we start." So I was back on a Monday, and then Roy Hodgson was put in as the manager, and he said like, "Yeah, my goalie coach is still contracted at Fulham, but if he is coming, then obviously, in 2 weeks' time you will be back with the reserves." I said, "Yeah, that's no problem." So I started the first 2 weeks there. Then obviously they didn't release the goalie coach, so he said, "Oh, you have to go on the training camp." So I went on training camp, and on the flight back, he said, "Oh, I really like your work, and you can help the first team goalie coach if he is coming." And that's what happened. So I stayed from that moment there. Obviously, then I think Roy Hodgson maybe lasted 4 or 5 months in the job, and Kenny Dalglish took over. Reina was the goalie, and Kenny asked Reina if he wanted to bring his own goalie coach, and he said, "I like to bring Ocho Reina back." He was the Spanish national team goalie coach, and he was in the 3 or 4 years before that he was with Liverpool, but went back to Valencia. But he didn't want to come back, and then he said, "No, I want to keep John because I like his work." So, and that's how it came, and I stayed, and then a new manager comes. Brendan Rodgers came after that, so he wanted to see how I work. He liked it, so he kept me. And then obviously Klopp come, and the same situation happened. They liked my work, and the club wanted me to stay as well because I did a lot. I did watch a lot of goalkeepers as well, and try to do a lot of recruitment side next to the coaching. I was in the first 5 years doing the first team and the academy, so I was 24/7 working. But in the end, it's all good for your knowledge, and it makes your a career if you like. So
Yeah, it seems like you had to be ready for everything, just waiting for a phone call for just different situations to come back.
yeah, so that's it now.
So well, you must have been doing something right. You were at Liverpool for a very, very long time with all these different managers. So it's a credit to yourself, obviously, that they wanted to keep you there, right? Wanted to ask, because like the goalkeeper over the years has developed into a more supportive role in possession, so especially on the ball. As a goalkeeper coach, are you involved in those tactical sessions? So like teams are playing out from the back or learning their structures to play out from the back. Is a goalkeeper coach much invested or involved in those kind of sessions?
Yeah, it worked a little bit different, I would say. But first of all, Liverpool wants a goalkeeper who is good playing with the feet and stuff. So my background is from Holland, so Holland was already playing with the feet, if you like, and I am a goalkeeping coach who teaching basically all-round goalkeepers. So they have to be able to play with the left foot, right foot. They have to be good on crosses. They have to be good in positional play, playing high lines, defending outside the box, inside the box, 1v1s and speed reaction. So you try to teach the full package, which means you can play in any team. You have also some wooden goalkeepers who probably can defend the goal but cannot move, and difficult playing with the feet. So that's not the type of goalkeeping I try to create, and I also don't like to sign. So I like to look for athletic goalkeepers who are mobile and can play in the Liverpool way, if you like. And that's obviously what I put in place when I was there. And you're looking for this profile when you're looking for goalkeepers. I always say like the goalkeeper for Liverpool has to be between 188 and 194, 195 max, because after 195, most goalkeepers are wooden and cannot move quick enough. And especially with the Premier League, with the high intensity, the speed of movement is vital. And if you're in Liverpool, you have to be athletic, quick, and fast off the line to cover space and be able to play high up the field as well. So that's what I try to do. I've been watching goalkeepers from, on the 16 national teams to the 21s, and then obviously all the goalkeepers in the major leagues who created goalkeepers to try and find them as well, and then make lists with goalkeepers who can play the way we play, number ones, number twos, or number three if we needed, or younger goalkeepers, 16, 17. Obviously, with the Brexit, it changed a little bit because then we were not allowed to sign anyone outside the UK no more. So then you have to start back looking in the UK, which was not that easy because you have like 4 or 5 clubs who have big funding and you have to compete with that side as well. So. But yeah, was a big job. But I I I only did it with looking at games, looking at the leagues, who came in new in the league. Who has 1 year contract, who has 2 year contracts left. So you're working ahead on that side. And I didn't work with really stats. I just work with the eye and look at it. And I know Liverpool work themselves a lot with stats, but I never did actually. So. I just looked at goalkeepers if I like the movement and stuff, and then obviously if you suggest one, then the club has to decide if they can afford it, if they want to invest the money, if there is budget for it, because sometimes we could only buy a goalkeeper who was maybe 5 million or 10 million because there was no budget. And obviously when we were gonna buy a big goalie, then obviously we bought Ali, and he was a little bit more expensive, but in the end,
Worth it in the end.
it all paid back as well.
Oh yeah.
Has there ever been any goalkeepers that you really wanted to sign, or maybe you didn't want to sign? The club went the other way and signed the keeper anyway.
Um, no, that didn't happen. But the first goalie I suggested, and it was maybe you say it's easy, but when I just started the job, I said, at Schalke is a goalkeeper, Neuer. I like him really. But then he went, and then the club said, yeah, he's going to Bayern München. That was the first one, and I suggested on one stage, pretty much after that, it was Handanovic. He was at Udinese, and then he went to Inter Milan. Then obviously they want to replace Reina. So I said, yeah, the closest, the way Reina is playing at the moment is probably Ter Stegen. He is at Gladbach, but he's 19, so he's still a little bit not ready, I would say, for Premier League. But yeah, that would be the closest one you could get. And obviously then he went to Bayern. But obviously the club then said we want to sign a goalie out of the Premier League, and he has to be in the club's philosophy on the 24, and he has to be playing in the Premier League. So there was only 3 goalies at the time who was affordable. That was Simon Mignolet, Tim Krul, and Berkovic. And I said to them, Simon is the best one out of the 3, and he is still the best out of the 3 in my opinion. So, and I know he had a lot of criticism, but he was not as bad as what people made out of it. Obviously we wanted to play from the back, but you also need the players who want to have the ball and making options all the time. And if that helps, then it obviously all combined, because later on when he left, he played for Belgium against England on Wembley. And I don't know if you ever saw the game, but he was playing the ball in the 6, clipping the ball over the striker in the fullback, and show that he can actually do play. And next to that, he was a reasonable shot stopper. But obviously, I also know if you work for Liverpool, one of the, if not the biggest clubs in the world, you need to have the best goalkeeper in the world. But I always used to say to the people like, yeah, I like the best goalkeeper in the world, but it's not that easy because if I ask you in 10 seconds how many big clubs are there in the world, you probably end up being 10, 20 clubs who all want to be a good number one and a number two. And I say, if you can give me in 10 seconds as many goalkeepers who are you think the best in the world, then you can only come to 3 or 4, no? And that is the problem you have. And we are lucky that we have probably, I said when I left, we have the best goalkeeping squad at Liverpool probably ever had, with the best number one and two, who both are unbelievable good and top quality players and can play in nearly every Premier League team, really. And Ali is for sure, in my opinion, the best in the world. And Keller, I think, is better than Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal goalkeeper as
Yeah.
well. So on that side, it's good to see. And we worked hard for it as well, no. So all the goalie coaches in the academy in the start, and as soon as I thought they were ready with the first team, I took them with 16, 17 to the first team, to make the young goalies the next step and try to make them a career. And later on, we had Taffarel joining me and Jack Robinson joining me to have more hands and making more goalies quicker to the first team, and bring instead of 4 goalies I was working on my own, then we worked with 6, so we could everything speed up, speed of thinking, speed of movement and stuff like that. And then the goalies can make the next step a lot quicker. And that's what I always did. When I was young, obviously, I could do it on my own because you have a lot of energy, but also, and Klopp was right with that. He said, John, maybe it's time to get an assistant, because I think I was still joining some sessions when I was 45 in the pre-season when they needed 4 goalies. But you're getting older, your energy is not the same as when you're 25. So yeah, then Jack came in, and that helped, to keep the level high and the intensity high, and uh, we worked them hard, and we improved them a lot. We sold Grabara, Kulaxi. It was the first one the club sold, but Grabara we sold, and Shamal George, he made it to the Scottish Premier League. And so we had quite a few. Danny Ward we sold to Leicester for 12 million, and we try to make them all a good career, and I think I definitely helped a lot on that way. And yeah, Kelly is probably, I said it to the boss a few years ago. I actually said to Keller when he was not playing, I said, you're better than the gear, but he's playing every week for Man United. That's the only thing is missing for you. And he was laughing always, but I think I show that I'm right in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing was that you help them with your thinking, your passion and the way of your work to give them, and they learn of each other as well. No, when Ali come in, raise the level a lot from all the goalies, and they learn of Ali, and obviously they learn of the goalie coaches, but they also learned a lot by themselves by working and effort, and we only there to help that and push them on. I think it's like a kind of brain training. You have to train, like if you go to a school, you're training the brain what you have to do in different situations, creating game situations where they know where to have to be and how to have to react. And I try to make it as simple as it is. It's not like that I make trampolines on the pitch and tennis balls and whatever, because I think you lose a lot of quality time. If I work on improving kicking, we use the full size pitch, because you need to find the right accuracy, the right speed, and the right angles to hit the players and stuff like that. And it's the same with 1v1s. You're using the full box to recreate 1v1 situations, to try to make them think about the situation and how to close the ball. And I don't like goalkeepers who just jump in front of the ball, go in the block in the hope that the ball hits them, because then it's the same as in the casino. I'm very much, if you can win the ball, you have to catch the ball, because you don't give second chances away. If you just jump in the ball, there's a second chance goes away. But we also know when we play like De Gea that he comes in the block and I said to Mo, just clip the ball left or right and it's a goal, because he's only jumping in front of the ball and hope that the ball hits him. But this is just the things. And if you see with Ali, he never just jumps in front. He stays pretty straight. And Kelly is exactly the same. Because they learned of each other that they stay in a straight line. And that is just me thinking also, and don't try to be inventive. There's nothing to invent. Now you see there's a lot of people thinking about a negative step. How can you have a negative step if you need to make distance in the corner? Because if you look at Onana, for instance, he is jumping always up and then he is standing with his legs really wide, which means you cannot make any distance. You can only fall over. And then you think, how is that gone in? But he can get nowhere near the ball because he cannot move his feet. You need to have close feet together so you can push off distance. If there's no time to move your feet, you can power off, because you can have your body weight over your knee and get to the corner. And if you have a little bit more time, you can have one step further and then you can make the distance. But if your feet are like this, you have to bring your feet first back and then you have to try and get back there. Then the ball is already 10 times in the net. But obviously goalie coach is looking at that, and I think that is basic, where you teaching goalkeepers from on the 9 with them. If you see them in a wide stance, you already tell them you have to come in closer with your feet, because you have to be able to move quick. If you're wide stance, then it's difficult. If you have another step, then you end up that wide that you cannot push off, because your body weight cannot transfer quick enough over your other knee. But that's really basics. But how many goalkeeping coaches not looking at that? It's crazy. But that's only me. Maybe they think what I say is completely bull. So that's possible as well.
Oh, that might change after they watch this, though.
Yeah, Man United's going to watch this for sure.
But that's the things. No one would ever talk that out of me as well, because. And that was all. That's probably also why I was always in the job. If the manager asked me, what do you think? I always said what I thought. Not that I'm always right, but I tell him why and how and what my thinking is behind it, and then he can decide yes or no. And if that means for a goalie playing this week or not, that's how I always was. I didn't tell the manager what he wanted to hear. I tell him what I think and why I think it, and what is the thinking behind it. So, and then obviously the manager decides if it's right or wrong, because he's the boss. He gets paid 10 times more than me.
You worked with some great coaches at Liverpool: Benitez, Hodgson, Dalglish, Rodgers, Klopp. These coaches all said they had a fantastic experience being at Liverpool. Did you have the same experience as well?
Yeah, the best time out of my life. It's crazy, People don't realize how big the club is. If you are in it, you can actually feel it and see it when you go to games, and you go on tour. It's crazy if you go on tour. I don't know. Did anyone went to the cricket stadium in Australia or not? That was an experience. 100,000 people.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
And they all sing "You Never Walk Alone." Then you get goosebumps, huh?
Yeah.
It's crazy, yeah.
But a lot of players I don't think were expecting
this kind of moments happen obviously a lot. We go Indonesia, the whole airport is red, crazy. Thailand, the whole hotel is like red everywhere. People crazy how many people are there, and but also at their home games, if there was a big game, the people standing on Anfield Road outside and all screaming and singing, and smoke bombs. There was 1 or 2 games where we couldn't see each other in the bus because everything was red. The bus outside is red,
Wow.
but the bus inside was red from the smoke. The bus didn't drive, didn't know where to go. That's how crazy. But yeah, there's some great memories, and we won a lot of things, and we should have won more. But also we know why we didn't win quite a bit more where we should have. But that everyone can feel that in themselves. Like,
Clean sheets wasn't the problem. It was the
huh?
other end of the pitch.
Yeah, or
Did you have any aspirations to become a head coach or a manager yourself?
no, I did have the manager license, but my passion has always been goalkeepers, creating goalkeepers, and want to be the best in that way, and try to help everyone to become better. And to be honest, in the later stages, I did a lot of goalkeeping conference talking to give my ideas, and and give my thinking to people, because why should I not share my knowledge and make people think about it, and hope it helps them to improve. And I always did that, really. When goalkeeping coaches ask me, I give them my information and try to help, because I have no secrets, really. I think just if there's more people who think like me, we will create more and better goalkeepers. That's my thinking for the future. And we want to create or help goalkeepers to become an Alisson or Edison or Keller or whoever, Grabara, who does amazing. He's now in Germany and stuff like that. So it's cool just to see that they make a career. And I give them all the things what they need to do on the field, but also off the field, what they have to think about, and they have to be calm in mind, and making good decisions on and off the field for themselves for the future. And I'm just passionate and thinking about everything what can help them to make the next steps, and try to push them for the next steps.
What about coaching and educating other coaches? Obviously, you've got a big wealth of knowledge. And you say that you want to try and pass that knowledge down. Have you thought about, like, obviously coaching other younger coaches to then pass that knowledge down to their players?
Yeah, that's obviously what I try to do. Like in Saudi, I I make a meeting with them all, and talk to them why I do things, show them exercises why I do things, and what they have to think about and stuff like that. And that's why I did the goalkeeping conference as well, just to give that knowledge. And you know, in the future it can be like that, but I'm more like hands-on, like showing a little bit with the computer, but not. It's more like showing with exercises and body shape, and how the goalies have to move, and how they have to move ideally, because you see a lot goalkeepers who are making a lot of saves, but every time give the ball back to the same player because they cannot catch the ball, or technical deal with the ball correctly. And that's also goalkeeping, by having your hands in the right shape, attacking the ball in the right body shape. Because if your hands are behind your body, it's difficult to catch ball, so you only can block the ball, and then the ball comes 90% of the time straight in the danger zone. So this kind of things, but that is all coaching what you should do already with 8, 9 year olds. You should already learn them how to move, how to dive, how to control the body, because you need to. It's a lot to think about. It's not just how you go in goal and just hope that you save the ball. It's a lot about body control, body movements, body positioning, strength, power, speed, and hand speed, and obviously head movement and all that stuff. So there's so much to talk about, but yeah, it's all also seeing what goes wrong on the goalie. What does he need to do to correct it? And that is how I worked, obviously, in Liverpool as well. When I work with the goalkeeper as the number one, I have to focus on him to get ready for the game, and the number two. And then if the number 1 and 2 go with the team training, I focus on number 3, 4, and 5, but also specific what they needed to improve. So, for instance, we did all the work together. The number 1 and 2 go to the team training. Then I would work on exercises what would help number 3, 4, and 5 for the next step. So if they're not good in timing on crosses, we work on crosses. If they're not good on left foot and right foot kicking, we would do extra kicking, or after training we do this extra if we didn't have enough time. So you try to progress every goalkeeper to the individual what they still have to get better at, next to also make sure the number one and number two get everything, and the number three get everything to be ready for the next game coming up. So you have to combine everything and fill everything together, with obviously always have to focus on the number two and the number one to be ready for the game and get the game information. What would the opponent do? How they play? How they build? Do they pressure the goalkeeper or not pressure the goalkeeper? Where would be the space for him to play from goal kicks, or when he gets closed down, or is he not going to get closed down so he has time to find his passes and stuff like that? Do they press with the whole team and leave Mo 1v1 in the back? Then obviously we need to try to kick direct in the space in behind so we can get Mo in 1v1 or Diaz in 1v1. Things like that you work on and you speak to in training, but also, you're working on exercises, making reaction safe from corners. If they always make near post corners, then you make an exercise where he makes reactions. If he cannot come for the corner, he has to be ready to make the save. So you're working on, okay, he cannot get there. What do I need to do? How do I set myself? If he gonna head the ball, can I make the save near post? If they flick it to the far post, how is the best way I can have a chance to make that save? And this kind of things you try to create. If you have a team who's playing with 11 behind the ball, then obviously you're working on 1v1 situations, because there's a good chance they will break one time down and he gets in a 1v1 situation. So we play the game in training 1v1. So you know what to do if he can't win the ball outside the box. He has to run back as quick as he can to the 6 yards and then let the player come on to him. He's under pressure. If he's under pressure, he will shoot. So he's in the right positioning to make the save. If he gets a touch in the box, then if he's on the 6 yards, he has a good chance to jump and win the ball. So this is the kind of game you try to play and create. And that's how you brain train the goalie as well, next to working on the physical side of jumping, speed, reactions, and power in the training.
I never actually thought of that. Like, you hear of teams setting up that week because of the team that they're versing, but you never really hear about a goalkeeper specializing or doing specific training because a certain team likes to do short corners or whip it in near post or kind of training like that. You never hear about that.
No, but it works as well because Ali said, I think it was the Newcastle, he made an unbelievable save. And he said, John, that is the exercise we always do. I said, I know, Ali. That's why we do it.
That's why we do it.
And Simon was the same. He said the same. I said, that's what we work on. But it is just to try to think about what's happened. And there was one game we played City, and City was always playing a low cross in behind around the 6 yard line. After 2 minutes, that ball came and Ali was there and he made an unbelievable save, and otherwise we would have been 1-0 down. But unfortunate, obviously 10 minutes later we were asleep for a free kick and then they still scored. But there are moments what can be match winning, if you like, and at that moment it was a match winning save, and that's what you try to create really, and paint the picture, let the brain switch on, and we have made a goalkeeping meeting the day before the game where you look at strikers and attacking play, what they would do, how they set up with goalkeepers, do they press, they not press, all that stuff, free kicks, corners, and penalties of course as well. And it was no coincidence that Simon had the highest save percentage when he was playing for Liverpool in the Premier League, saving penalties. And obviously Keller did the same in the Cups. We won a few with penalties, and Ali, we won, I think, the FA Cup with penalties as well. There was a lot go into that, and I had a good analyst with me. That was James France. He's unbelievable. He knew every stat on penalties, and he helped me with all the the presentations to get ready. We make always conversation on that, so you cannot do everything alone. But at Liverpool you have resources to get everything, and this guy is great for me in the past, and he's still obviously at Liverpool, and he is like more a kind of set piece coach, but he needs a chance to be able to make the next step as well.
It's funny you bring up penalties because I was actually just about to ask you about it, John. So I know Liverpool's actually been involved in a few high stake penalty moments and some big games. The two that come to mind are the two finals against Chelsea. So what are the methods, when you're prepping the 1 and 2 goalkeepers for these specific moments? Recently we saw Pickford had his water bottle at the Euros and the names are on it. Is there any specific things that you did before these games?
Yeah, I didn't put it on the water bottle, because, but we always had eye contact. We always we made different eye movements and hand movements for things. But we won the Super Cup, we won the 2 League Cups, and we won the FA Cup with penalty save. So it does work, and we won also rounds before that with it. So, but I did it already when I was playing myself in Tranmere, and when I became player coach, I was already searching for penalties because I know we can win games with it. So when I came to Liverpool, I was really big on it, and James obviously took that really on, and his database is crazy, from any goalkeeper in the world. We had penalties from YouTube, so he basically had every penalty from every player. So and then you're looking at the things, what can work, what cannot work, and then make decisions. But in the end, if you stick to because players also smart, they're not going to stick every time with it and stuff like that, no. But for instance, one time we played Tottenham, and Harry Kane get a penalty in the home game at Liverpool. Karius was the goalie, and I said to Karius, the stats saying in a big game, Kane goes always to the middle. So when you get a penalty, just stay in the middle and you'll save it. So that's what he did. It was not so smart when he told them on the TV after. So like I said, I can say that now, but that was the case because he had like 6 penalties against Premier League teams, and 6 times he went to the middle. Obviously now he doesn't do that no more because you don't need to tell this kind of details. But we made a lot of details, and we looked at everything. We look at the run, we look at the way they did it, and whatever. So. And in the Premier League, obviously, all the big leagues, the penalties are there. In Saudi, it's a lot difficult to get more footage and stuff, and I haven't got the resources with like a guy like James. So, but if you have that possibility, then you should definitely think about a guy like that.
We got an Australian goalkeeper here, Andrew Redmayne. And he plays here in Sydney. Whenever he's facing a goalkeeper, he's waving his arms up and down and kicking his legs out. And he's like he's dancing along the goal line, trying to put the striker off. And to be fair, most of the time it does work.
All these kind of things can work as long as you also know what you have to do. Because obviously some players are stop-starting, so you need to timing your movement as well, and you need to hold later and. When Ali became the goalie, we sometimes also let him make the decision because some players, they obviously, everyone does his homework nowadays. So some players, they are hard to judge. So we always say, okay, this is what he generally do, but you have to make the right decision and feel what you feel at that moment as well. And sometimes that can work too.
The instinct, yeah. Well, speaking of Australian goalkeepers, you had one of our own, Liverpool, Brad Jones.
Yes.
How did Brad compare to the other big names at Liverpool?
Brad was he had a difficult start when he came to Liverpool, but the step was probably also high coming from Middlesbrough, where he was on and off in the team, to Liverpool to be number 2. And then obviously the sad situation with his son, but when that all was behind him, he got really good, really, and I think he worked his socks off as well, and he had good power and speed, and he had a decent kick on him as well, and really he made big steps, and he because on one stage he became the number 3 at Liverpool, and we put Gulaxi number 2, but after that he became also. And that was really sad now with his son passed away. And then he was the number 3 at the time. But then we had Donny as the number 2. Donny got sent off, and Brad played in the semi-final against Everton for the League Cup. And he made 2 unbelievable saves. And, basically he got us to the final, if you like. And actually... I don't know if it was probably the FA Cup, so we lost the final against Chelsea that year, but he got us to the final. But I always respected Brad, and even it was not a cool situation where he came from 3 to 2 or from 2 to 3, and then after that he became also from 3 back to 2, and he was quite a few years the number 2 as well. And he put all this aggression in the gym and worked hard in training, and he made a good career. And I actually tried to get him back at Liverpool. We needed a goalie when Klopp came, and Brad was out of contract, and I said because we needed 3 goalies, and we needed a number 3, and Brad was probably 36, 7 or something like that, 36 or 35. And I said to Klopp, I said, Brad Jones for sure can do the job for us. And so he came on trial, but obviously he was not straight in the Liverpool speed because he was like 2-3 years been away, and he played in Holland and stuff. And the club said, I read in Germany, Alex Manninger is coming free as well. So and then Feyenoord rang me about the goalie coach rang me about Brad, and I said, yeah, for sure he can play for you. So then I said to Brad as well. I said, Brad, you can only get here £5. So I said if you go there. He said you get maybe £10, but also you play every week for 50,000 people, and the stadium is crazy. I said that's a no-brainer for me. I would go there today if I was you, and that's what he did. And I think they won the cup and for sure won the cup with Feyenoord. Had 2 great seasons there, and then went to Saudi. And I still now and then have a text with him. He is doing some coaching himself now, and he's back in Australia now, and with his wife and the kids, and he had a great career, and I enjoy working with him because he also worked hard really in the end, and he made big steps from when he came, and and obviously I was not 100% experienced as I was now, and then you also learn a lot. The situation is really sad with his son now. He had leukemia, so and to deal with that, and I said to Brad always, Brad, if you need to go, because his ex was living in France with his son, if you need to go there, I spoke to the boss, you can go anytime, and we make the time for him as well, and I think that helped as well, so he could be with his son if he needed to go there. And that was a really sad situation, but you learn as a coach as well from this kind of things to try to be a human, and not think about the football, but thinking about that side of life as well.
Yeah, no, definitely sound like a great person as well as a great coach, John. Just on anyone that watches the Premier League a couple of years ago, they would have seen Alisson score a last-minute winner, 2021, I believe it was, against West Brom, which helped Liverpool, get into that top 4, back in the Champions League where they belong. A couple of questions for you. How much shooting practice do goalkeepers do? Do they all think they're better than the strikers? And can you take any credit for Alisson going up for that corner and scoring?
No, Ali gets the credit for that, no, because he scored us. But the situation was, it was that was also a really sad situation. Ali losing his dad and it was in Corona time, 2019. So Ali lose his dad. He couldn't get home, and then obviously we in the season, Ali wanted to stay with the players and try to keep helping the players, although he couldn't. He with Corona was not allowed to fly, but the players actually wanted to buy a private plane for him so he could go to the funeral. But Ali said no, it's too much. It's also a risk with my wife is being pregnant, so he decided to play for the team. And we were in the situation. I think we were like 5 points behind Leicester, and there was maybe 3 or 4 games left. And we basically had to win the game. It was 1-1, and we had chances and chances good to score. And the referee put up 4 minutes, and it was the 94th minute. And I look at my watch, and we get the corner. So that was going to be the last corner, And I thought, we have nothing to lose. We need to win. And I see Ali there, and I said, Ali, get F in the box. so then, but because there was no people, it was clear that he couldn't hear me as well. So then, obviously, yeah, the rest is history. But what did it was really emotional after the game. Of course, you're thinking that was there for him at that moment as well because the situation, but also it gave the team an unbelievable lift because if we would have drawn the game, we would have been like 5 points behind with 3 games left. It would have been nearly impossible to do. And because we won this game, we closed the gap. And we had 1 game in hand, I think, on them. And, we go Burnley away the next game with full energy because Burnley was always a difficult game for us. And I think we won that 3 or 4-0. It really boosted the team. And obviously, in the last game, I think we finished even second I think we drop. We go from fifth. I think we go to second. I think or fourth. I'm not sure. We did one season like that, something like that as well. So, but yeah, that is just sometimes it happens. It's the nice moments in football, and obviously, it's also the sad moments when you're losing 2 times on the last day of the game,
Yeah.
the league, and you're losing 2 Champions League finals. I think we definitely should have had minimum 1 or 2 more league titles, and I think we know why we lost it as well. I think, but that's football.
John, I can definitely agree with you there, being a Liverpool fan, but these two here are Tottenham supporters, so I don't know how they feel about it.
I feel upset with the Champions League final when Sissoko got given a handball for when it hit him in the chest.
Yeah, I know. I know. If it was in the Premier League, you probably won't get the penalty. I would say.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, you see them more often given. So I think they changed a little bit the bar. I do think we deserve to win it. Although Ali made in the second half quite a few more saves to keep the score, and then obviously when the second one goes in, it's done. But I think we were a good team at that moment, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's tough for us Australians watching a Champions League final because kickoff is at 4:30 a.m. here in Australia. So it's always, do we sleep before and get some sleep in and get up to watch the game, or are we too excited? I was too excited. Tottenham finally made a Champions League final, so I stayed up all night.
Oh yeah, then you couldn't sleep for another 48 hours probably after losing.
Exactly right, correct.
I know how that feels as well.
After 15 years, you decided to part ways with Liverpool, John. You're now with our Ettifaq. What was the motivation behind joining them, and how do you see the development in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my contract was finishing, so the club didn't know what they wanted to do as well, and so you have to prepare. And I worked with Stevie at Liverpool. He was then the player, of course. He was, and I had the conversation pretty soon when Klopp decided that he was going to make it a finish. So, my contract was finished. I make some communication with Stevie, and he asked if I would help him set up the goalie department. And, it's a new challenge. Obviously, Liverpool wanted to go also a different way and completely change everything. So, and it was a good job that I agree with that. And, it's a good challenge. Try to develop the coaches, develop the goalies, and just improving goalies. That's what I like to do. So it's fun. Obviously, it's not fun that we didn't win enough yet. So hopefully we can turn that around because, yeah, one thing is for sure. You only come here to win games and not to lose games, and that is what we have to try and improve, and hopefully we can in the next weeks making improvements on that side. But yeah, working with goalkeepers, I can do it everywhere. Obviously, I was lucky enough to be a long time at Liverpool, but yeah, I have the same passion, and I want to do the same thing and try to create goalkeepers and make them a next step.
Well, you mentioned your old friend Stevie G. What's he like as a manager compared to as a player?
No, I think as a manager he's doing really good. He's really strict and straight to his team talks and tell the players exactly what he needs and what he wants from them. So I think that is really a good positive. And like as a player, he was the best probably Liverpool player I saw there, and he want to be the best coach as well. And I think he's showing the passion he had as a player, also as a manager, and that's a really good thing. And we as coaches around him have to help him with the on-field stuff as well. And hopefully we can make a good team together.
Well, I wanted to ask on behalf of all the goalkeepers that are potentially listening, all the young players as well that are listening, what would be your top 3 key things that a goalkeeper must have or must do?
Yeah, for me, you have to be passionate about it, want to improve everything you can think of and think you need to improve, but also looking at other keepers how they do things. So YouTube can help you a lot with goalie training and stuff, but for sure you need to have the work rate and invest a lot. I was 12 when I was training every day to be better and be a goalkeeper. So, and working myself on kicking left foot, right foot to improve that side. And I think, yeah, if you put all the effort in, you always get paid back of it. I know there was goalies probably who were more talented than me, but I working 3 times harder than them, and I overtook them by my fight and passion and want to be better and want to improve everything. And I think as a coach, that is the same. If you want to go somewhere, you have to invest in it and want to achieve the best you can be.
We always say, and we speak to a lot of other players as well, they always say that goalkeepers are a little bit different. Compared to the rest of the squad, rest of the outfield players, the goalkeepers have to be a little bit different compared to the rest of the squad.
Um,
They're a bit odd.
I'm not
They're a
sure.
bit odd.
I probably chased some players in the training field if I was not happy about them. But on that side, yes. But a goalkeeper still has to be calm on the field. Like if you are hot-headed, then you'll make more mistakes, and that's also, what I think is a quality. As a coach, you need to look at if the goalie is really having a calm and steady mind, because you can make better decisions than if you're not steady.
Before we get to the big question, John, I need to ask one thing because I don't know if I'm ever going to get the chance to ask this again to someone who's been at Liverpool for so long. What is it like working with Jurgen Klopp? What is he like as a person?
He probably on the sideline it looks maybe aggressive, but he is not off the field aggressive in terms of, you can talk to him about anything you want. He likes to talk about anything. If you meet him, he will make a conversation with you. You speak to the groundsman, he speak to the kitchen staff, he speak to anyone really. And I think he just is a passionate guy as well. And if he's not happy, he will tell you as well, because that's how you achieve things. And you can see that on the sideline, he fires the players on, and he fired a few times to the referees as well. And in the end, that didn't help probably every time, but it was the truth. No, we fight. We used a fighter to win the game, and we all wanted to fight to win the games. And
Yeah.
and that is the guy. It's a really great time to work with him, and great experience for sure.
It sounded like he created a very big family culture where everybody had each other's backs. Everyone wanted to help each other out. It just seems like he had that kind of culture within that camp.
Yeah, I mean, this was not always like rosy, there was always sometimes a little moan between each other, or some coaches, they were not agreeing with something, but that keeps each other sharp as well. No, you need to fight together, and listen to each other and take something, and sometimes you have to take criticism, and sometimes you have to find the right way, and I think that is the most important thing, as long as you not talk bull, but give your opinion and try to create a good atmosphere between each other, and all together you are strong, and that's what you have to be, and I think that's what also was a big strength of Klopp. No, he got the supporters to support from the first to the last second. He got all the people feeling part of it again, and everyone was close together. The city was red, and all was with Klopp, and the staff and the players, and that is what he created really. And obviously the owners, they created it as well by investing the money to help the team and build the new stadium and the new training ground. And I think it's been a great place and a great moment in Liverpool, and hopefully we can win more trophies in the next years. And I think it looks good for this year, and hopefully we can do something again.
Well, Klopp also got new teeth, brighten up the atmosphere in the changing room, so that helped as well.
Yeah, and I mean, we all passionate, as you can see. Some celebrations from me on the sideline, but it's also like a kind of pressure release, when you big game and you score a crazy goal or last minute goal, and you're jumping around and celebrating like crazy. We all did it, and you can make a good video from that for sure. But it's also, you're always under pressure. If you work for Liverpool, you expect to win every game. So, there's always pressure. If you're a goalie coach, you always have the goalie, you need him to play well, because if he doesn't, then you feel you don't play well too, And I have to say, over the last 8 years, it became a lot easier for me when we had Ali and Keller and playing like that, then it takes a lot of pressure off you.
It's the big question time. So everyone listens again. It's the coach's son nomination. So everyone listening, it's the teacher's pet. It's the jokester. It's the clown. It's someone who's created a bit of a character in around the change rooms or on the pitch. So John, who would be your coach's son?
Oh, yeah, I can name maybe a few, but you probably won't know them.
That's all right. As long as the story behind it's good, we're happy to hear.
Yeah, I mean, there was some funny players in my team and stuff but more all Scousers in Trammy was Scousers as well. So yeah, I think John Morrissey, he played for Everton in the past, I think, as well, and his dad used to play there. But that was in the early days, and they always were imitating other people and stuff and be funny. But I was more like when I play, for sure, the serious when I'm playing and on the field I'm serious. I can make a joke before training or after training, but when we're training, it's very much hands-on, and everyone who worked with me probably think that I was really serious on the field. So, so I stayed away from a lot of jokes myself in that way.
Well, we saw the funny side of you today, John. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, John, thank you very much for coming on it and giving your time. It's been a fantastic conversation. Thank you very much.
No problem. Good luck there.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
John.
everyone.
Thanks, John.
Everyone, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be back next week. Take care, everyone.
See you later.
Beautiful.
This was not meant to happen.